everyone, this is Nibiru Watcher. It is June 27th, 2018. In my last video, I had shown you these two shadowy planetary objects blocking the light from entering our atmosphere, shining sometimes they're behind us and before us, accelerating and decelerating as they approach perihelion of the sun. Thank you, Alex from Planet X, for pointing this out. I can't go into too much detail. It would make for a very long video. So rather than going down that rabbit trail explaining every little thing, I'm just showing you the video proof. Some of you may say, I can't believe that a planet would suddenly appear and disappear. Well, it didn't just suddenly disappear. These time frames are 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and sometimes a half an hour apart. So it did transition out of the way. The camera just didn't catch it. These are snapshots. So with that being said, look what we found on a live stream on Laguna Beach, California, happening even right now. So if anybody lives in California, or if anybody has a nice clear shot of the coast, let's catch this, because guess what? They've been cutting the stream on me right as the sun gets eclipsed. So I had been recording this website for 2 straight days. Let's watch what I had captured. So here we are in the beginning of this video. Somewhat in the noontime, I was able to capture this on the 26th. Let's watch the clouds pass in front of these two objects. Notice how they just kind of changed, and you will see that the clouds are passing in front of these dots. And no, they're not moving in the sky. Why is that? Look at these clouds pass in front. It's in front. It's not a smudge on the camera. Besides, figure out what it is. Let's observe it all day long and see what happens. I believe what we're looking at are two lenses in space, or perhaps lenses being created by lasers and a satellite, which we're going to see as the sun sets. So here comes the sun passing over the sky. And we're going to start seeing these lenses here, and as the sun passes, we're going to get the red lens petal effect. Something very bizarre. Why would it be red? Because red doesn't bend as easy because of its huge magnetic field of its slow wavelength. So here we can see this thing passing. We're going to start seeing the lenses in this system here, such as we see right there, people. You see those 3 overlapping lenses? They're all over the place. 1, 2, 3. Now something really interesting happens here. This is where they actually cut the feed on me. Right about, I'll be playing along, and believe me, I wanted to catch it. But I did want you to point out, look at the sun, how it's white right here. And this part of the sun begins to get eclipsed when they cut the feed. Yeah. They did it twice. And then they resumed the feed. I have screenshots of where the camera went offline. It was right here. Believe me, I would love to keep going. Why would I stop the video at this point, right? I'll find the exact point when the water just stopped moving. See, here I'm playing it. The water stopped moving. They cut the feed. And go back just about the point. Go back a little more. See the water moving? Then they stop the feed. I refresh it. I go back and look. And they cut the feed. Then they resumed about 15, 20 minutes later. The sun is now will be touching the horizon. I want you to notice that we still have a regular sun there, but we're looking at the sun simulator. The real yellow sun begins to be seen in this video. And right at 28 seconds into it, they stop the feed. You can see the water stop moving. I'm going to show you still shots of the uh, screen captures. Stopped film. So here are my screen captures. You can see that it actually went offline. See Laguna Beach offline. I was, to my horror, I'm watching it and all of a sudden this default screen pops up. I'm like, no way, are you kidding me, right? And so here is one screenshot. You can see my desktop picture at 7:37. They killed the feed. And then I went to log in and look, here's a screenshot. This was California. It should have showed San Diego, Santa Barbara, and Laguna Beach. It's now missing in the feed. You can see the timestamp on my desktop here at 7:18, killing the feed twice in a row. Twice. So when the camera went back online, this is what I see. You can see it's now live. It's the same day, and it jumps to this screen right as it was eclipsing. But look, we still got some nice little information here. Notice how the sun turns yellow again. That's the sun we used to know, the outside sun, with the creamy white fake sun simulator, white light in the middle. I want you to also see, and then we have the aura of the red planet too. Since when does the sun come off with 3 colors? But look at how we get to see early signs. And look at that. So there is your actual sun, that little yellow, what remains. How does that all work? I will show you a diagram, but let me continue in my discoveries. On day 2, I captured the same thing. They cut the feed almost at the same time, just as the sun was being eclipsed. Let's watch this day unfold. And I actually had a video capture of it going offline. So let's just watch. Here we can see the same 2 dots not moving in the sky. They're acting as projections, one lens upon another. I'm going to show you how this works. So just keep watching. You can see the very strange skies indeed. Not quite visible to human eye because the eye can't capture that level of contrast. When it gets a little dark in the sky, it will. I suppose if you stared at it long enough, you might actually see something kind of black and fuzzy in the sky. But the bright sun is so distracting, it really don't think you could quite pick this up with the human eye. But you would catch it with the camera, though. Cameras are just simply more sensitive than our eyes. They don't have to adjust our lenses and our irises to adjust for the light. It takes time. So as the sun begins to set in this video, we can see the early signs of the lens array. You know, I keep talking about the lens array. So you know what? Let me just stop right there and talk about this lens array for a second, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about. The lens array that I discovered in July, almost exactly a year ago, when we saw the setting sun, thinking they were planets. These actually may be laser projections from a satellite, using a femto laser plasma lenses in the sky from a satellite. And I'm going to show you, I believe I have proof of it. Satellite creating these images using lasers. Femto lasers. See these lenses here? As the light passes through it, allowing still the red light to pass through because it has a slower wavelength, giving it a bigger magnetic field, not allowing it to bend light as easy. That's why I believe we see the red. The lens petal effect that we see is proof positive that the sun is passing through these lenses, which I think actually may be projected by satellites with femtos. I did have a video in the past. You go back and look at the femto plasma laser wake field video that I made. This could all be done with lasers. And it would have to be in our atmosphere, of course, which seems to be the case. So let's get back to this video. Okay. So let's go back to where we start to see the early signs of these lens arrays that I showed you in the Australian web camera. We could see them here. Now this is where it's going to get really interesting. I hope you've been paying attention because it's going to be a surprise ending, besides the fact they're going to cut the feed again. But I caught it this time. See these lenses over here, folks? They're overlapping lenses, just like I showed you in Australia. And then they cut the feed. There it is, folks. The water stops moving right in the middle of the video. As the sun is being clipped, you can see this object blocking the light. Notice how the sun isn't even perfectly round anymore. What a great time to cut the feed there. So I'm going to let it play. You can see people moving on the beach. I think it was right at, you can see that they stopped the feed, again to my horror. So if anybody lives on a coast and you're watching the sunset, please send me a video of this. Better yet, post it on your YouTube channel and send me the link. That's the best way to send me videos. So they cut the feed. And again, you can see Laguna Beach. I can't click on it. I show that it's offline. I'm going in and out of this stinking thing. Still says it's live, but you can't click on it until I resume the video. So that's twice they cut the feed on me. The next day, when it goes back online about 20 minutes later, we catch the sun in this point. Now this is where it gets good. I let the camera run way past sunset. Let's watch these lens arrays again. Now we can see the early signs of the lens petal effect, which is the red light escaping from the light bending effects of the laser plasma weak field lenses, which I think are now our atmosphere. Okay, this is going to get good. Watch these two dots here. Watch as it actually starts to look like a planetary object as the late sun starts to set. This is where it gets crazy. I hope you've been watching because this is awesome. Okay, so right, this looks like an eclipsing planet, doesn't it? But watch what I think is a satellite coming in and how it moves with this object. See right here, this little dot. Watch how it affects the light. It's still twilight. We have the cloud system coming in, but watch how this seems to be working in sync with that light system. Look at that. It's just like projecting a light right on it. You see how that, I think that is the satellite system projecting the lasers. Hey, I could be wrong. It is just a theory, but there's something awfully screwy around here. And then we have and then again, that was it. Oh, and if I would have ran the camera a little longer, these objects also faded out next time. But I do want to show you, notice how as the light moves, this light reflects with this light. It's part of a projection, because when you have a lens, it creates a projection. So how does this all work? Some of you want to see diagrams. This is pretty much, I think, what's going on in our skies. There we go. So we have a sun. We have solar collectors. This is our sun simulator getting its power from these microwave solar collectors, beaming its power onto here. I had other videos about this. Didn't want to get in a lot of detail because I've made so many sun simulator videos. Just go back and watch them. But these lenses here, I believe, or a layer of lenses that are being put in place that project as the planet passes between these objects. We have overlapping lenses. I didn't show the overlapping here. In fact, you probably can't even see me drawing. Hold on a second. So we have lenses here, and the light from this lens would beam to this lens, and the light would converge here, and I think this is what we see. So no matter where this planet sits, like a periscope, it reflects the light all the way from whatever group of lenses onto a main lens here. I know you have lots of questions. I do not have all the answers, but for those who always want to know about the black dot, it was this rotating object in this diagram here. So this was the sun simulator patent. This is the sun simulator, this flat disk. The light goes from this parabolic mirror, reflects onto another mirror here, goes through the hole within these two mirrors, bounce upon this cubic square spinning mirror system to hide this. And you have to be looking down the barrel of this thing, like, to get this black dot. Not everybody gets to see it. To reflect and hide this hole. That's what this is for, to hide this hole. I mean, it has to let the light come through and make the sun. And then you've got a lens out here also with it that changes the diameter of the sun as well. So I hope this helps. Please copy, like, and share this video. Have a blessed day.